So now in the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, there was an article written about Black Americans and should Black Americans actually forgive the Democrat Party? And let's go through this because this is really nerve-wracking, ladies and gentlemen. Like, why are you worried about Black Americans with the Democrat Party? So let's go ahead and check that out. As you can see, will Black voters forgive the Democrats? They say they're tired of being told what to do. Now, it's a Leighton Woodhouse that wrote this. Okay, so it's out of Oakland, California. Shout out to all the brothers and sisters in Oakland. So yeah, Marquis sat in the driver's seat of his Honda, and they describing all this about, what he looked like. A slender young Black woman sat in the passenger seat, all of that. Fine. All right, cool. He said, I declined, said he was willing to talk to me about the election anyway. He said, I voted for Trump, he said, before I had a chance to ask. They across the bay from San Francisco. Oakland is the second. It's the African-American cultural capital of the West Coast. It's the birthplace of the Black Panther Party. Its politics, famously left-wing. Kamala Harris is born here and claims it's her hometown. She even kicked off a 2020 presidential campaign in front of Oakland City Hall. He said, what I can tell is that among Black voters in Oakland, there's never been an overwhelming sense of loyalty to Harris. I interviewed Black Oakland residents, both before and after she became the president's nominee. Since she lost the election, he interviewed several more. He said lack of enthusiasm she inspires, and among Black voters speaks to her weakness as a candidate, but more importantly, it indicates a long-growing disillusionment of Black Americans with the Democrat Party, which was born, out in Donald Trump's successful courtship of the working class Black vote during the elections. In particular, Trump doubled his support from young Black men. Saying, I quote, I don't care about Kamala. Who's Kamala? She's just a woman. So a young woman in the West Oakland named Sakai told me, said she voted for Trump and insisted that gas and grocery prices were already going down as a result of the election. He said life is going back to what it was before 2020 took place. He said even the Black Oakland residents I spoke to who had voted for Harris had done so without much enthusiasm. Dion, a middle-aged Black woman who works at the OBGYN clinic in East Oakland, voted for Harris despite aligning more with Republican values, especially when it came to abortion. He said, I feel like the Democrats are leaning way in a direction that I'm not ready for. He said when I asked her what issues she had in mind, she spoke of the Democrats allowing biological men to use women's restrooms and how that could open the door for predators to go after kids. That is true. That is 100% true. Michelle, they say, is a 60-year-old Black woman, grew up in Harris's neighborhood in Berkeley. Before moving to Oakland at the age of 8, she's deeply involved in local politics, and over the years, she has gone from being a lifelong Democrat to a Trump supporter. We've always had a messianic complex, as she said, of Black American voters and their loyalty to the Democrats. So they were always figures who could dazzle us with BS. As you can see, they say the final straw for Michelle's was Democrats' insane policies on immigration. It's a Democratic politician blatantly dropped like 10 to 15,000 immigrants into a Black neighborhood, blatantly giving them resources they don't give us. It said the wave of new immigrants under Biden, she believes driving down working class wages. Moreover, she said a lot of the young males are dangerous, which they are. She knows older immigrants who have been in Oakland for decades who feel the same way about the new arrivals. Now, I'm reading all this for a reason, ladies and gentlemen, okay? A lot of Black people, okay, a lot of Black people are sick and tired of what the Democrats have been offering, which is not much of nothing to Black Americans. And it's the thing. It is nothing the Democrats can do right now for Black Americans except give us reparations in the form of cash payments. That's something you could do to make Black people look at you good again. Give Black people anti-Black hate crime bill. That's something else you can do for Black people. Right off the bat. See, Democrats, if you want Black people back, these reparations commissions y'all making in the cities, y'all have to pass it and start passing out checks. And that needs to be done in every Democrat city. And that needs to be the mantra of the National Party. And I promise you, if it becomes the mantra of the National Party and they see you doing it on state level, the Democrat-run states is doing it, and all these different ones are doing it, guess what, Democrats? Black people will say, we need to start voting for Democrat again because we'll get our reparations. We'll get our anti-black hate crime bill. They're addressing black homelessness. And the Democrats will have to get off this immigration crap. They have to basically join with Trump and say mass deportations. And that's what they're going to have to do. If they choose not to do any of that, ladies and gentlemen, no issue, no problem. They don't have to. They can keep losing election after election after election after election. So they can lose 2028 midterms. Like I said, they're already trying to campaign, and we already on them already. We are focusing on the Democrats. And 2028, y'all could lose again. And then 2030 midterms, and then 2032 presidential election. Y'all can just keep losing over and over and over and over again until y'all do right by black people, because we are committed to making sure that we stay on y'all, because y'all not going to be playing games with black people. And every time you keep playing games with black people, more and more black people either going to sit it out or they're going to be Republican. That's really what's going to happen. And more people, like I knew, sat it out than they did vote for Republican. But each election, if the Republicans just increase their black voters maybe 2% each election, that'll grow. If they just increase about 2% each election. Okay, you had 21% of black men. What if next election is 23% of black men? And then the following time is 25% of black men. And it just each election to keep growing. With time, y'all, it's gonna be 50-50. And y'all know y'all never win elections if black people are like splitting their vote 50-50 between Democrats and Republicans. So if you want black people back, it's not about forgiveness. No. What's the point of forgiveness? You're not giving nothing. You got to give something tangible. And once you give something tangible, and we see these tangibles, we see these checks, we see this anti-black hate crime bill, we see all these tangibles coming our way from your party, then we can have a conversation. Until then, we are good. We are resting. We are chilling. We taking our cruises. We relax. We're not worrying with y'all. The Democrat problem is not our problem no more. It's not. We ain't getting involved in nobody's mess unless it has something to do with black people. And it's just that simple. So go and tell the Democrats, until you do something right by black people, we won't have Republicans running the country. It's just that simple. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine. We'll be all right. I live in a Republican state. So if I live in a Republican state and I'm fine, the rest of the country will be fine.